Joining me now is Andrew Davis. He's a reporter with our NewsNation station in Savannah. Andrew has been on the Murdaugh case since the very beginning and all of the tragic twists and turns that we have been telling you about tonight. Andrew, thank you for being with us. Alec Murdaugh made that 911 call after his wife Maggie and son Paul were found dead. It wasn't until 13 months later, though, that he was arrested. Why that much time?
Well, that seems to be the question that a lot of people have right now. SLED has said it's because they were trying to do their due diligence to make sure they had the right person. But from the beginning, they never claimed at any point that there was a suspect out there. There was never a warning to the public about there being a shooter. You had two people dead, yet at some point the town of Hampton wasn't put on warning to say there could be a killer out there. There's no one. So they seem to know who it was almost from the beginning. So then they continued on. They waited. Alec actually put out a reward money for the suspect in this case. Meanwhile, SLED was completely tight-lipped on everything that they were doing and waited until 13 months later. And only now are we starting to get some of the details on exactly what they may have that could connect Alec back to these killings.
Yeah, we'll hear about some of those details and evidence in court this week. The other cases that we have brought to light tonight that you know so well, the boat accident involving Paul, the housekeeper's death and the financial fraud and the embezzlement, Stephen Smith's death that Rich was just reporting on. What of these cases is most significant to the murder trial now?
I think you have to look at the boat crash being the most significant because it was a key factor in some of the financial information coming out. Within a week after when these killings happened, about a week later, there was supposed to be a full financial accounting coming from the civil case connected to Mallory Beach's death in that boat crash. So Alec would have had to reveal those financial documents, which would have shown a lot of these crimes that he apparently committed on the financial side of things. Also, there's the question of how much shame did Paul bring to this family, which a lot of people have wondered by. And also, was there just a rift somewhere connected to the boat crash itself, the money that seems to be missing, and whether Maggie knew about it? She called for forensic accounting from the law firm just a few days before this. So it all stemmed from the boat crash, and really it all comes tumbling down the moment that that boat hit that piling.
Andrew, Alec Murdaugh's surviving son, Buster, what do we know about him? Has he ever spoken publicly about the case and what is happening right now to his dad and to his family?
He's not. He's really been kept to himself so much. We believe he's working with the family right now. He does live in Hilton Head, South Carolina, so he's not living in Hampton instead. He's supposed to get about $500,000 in this civil settlement that could happen between Maggie Murdaugh's estate and the Beach family itself. So far, though, he's very much kept to that. We've heard him only on those recordings with his father, talking to his father. He seemed upset that maybe some of the media had been following him around, that he had become a key point in all this. But overall, he has not spoken publicly. We don't know if he's actually going to show up at court to see some of these things. We don't necessarily expect him to, because I would have to think it'd be incredibly hard to hear what happened to your brother and your mother, no matter who would be responsible, and especially if it was your father. I don't think you could handle that and stay in court and listen to it.
Yeah, and especially because of the gruesome details of the murders that night. Andrew Davis from our NewsNation station in Savannah. You'll be inside the courtroom and covering this trial extensively. We are thankful to partner with you. We appreciate you being with us tonight.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.